When you're talking temperature, 2019 was one for the record books. This was the hottest July ever for the planet. 5 countries hit all-time national heat records. Hottest month ever, not just July, but the hottest across the globe. The hottest June, July, and September. And the second hottest August, October, and November in recorded history. I traveled to southeastern Greenland, where the Arctic is warming twice as fast as anywhere else on the planet. That heat melting glaciers, sea ice, and Greenland's ice sheet, which lost 12.5 billion tons of ice in a single day. Something scientists didn't expect to happen for at least another 50 years. The extent of ice melt here in Greenland will actually help determine just how high sea levels will rise. All this ice that's fallen off, it's been since we've gotten here. We've been hearing it and seeing it falling off. And it's going into the ocean. What happens?
We are on the first step of a domino effect.
Because what happens in the Arctic doesn't stay in the Arctic.
We've only had about 7 inches of sea level rise globally in the last century. Doesn't sound like much, but it's already profoundly shifting the frequency and intensity of coastal flooding.
Those rising sea levels and warmer oceans fueling more powerful hurricanes like Dorian, which devastated the Bahamas. And wildfires, Alaska, 2.5 million acres burned.
The link between climate change and drought and wildfires is very, very strong.
In the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, wildfires caused by slash and burn techniques raged at a record rate.
The planet's on fire!
Triggering worldwide concern over the fate of the rainforest, one of the biggest absorbers of carbon on the planet. We hit a record of 415 parts per million of carbon dioxide. That's the greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, a new record high. The winds right now gusting at over 55 to 60 miles per hour. Crucial reports about climate and predictions for the future.
It is so decided.
The UN announcing there could be as little as 12 years for humans to mitigate catastrophic global warming.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
Their recommendation? Burning fewer fossil fuels, changing the way we produce food, and planting 1 billion trees. Australia downgrading their outlook for the Great Barrier Reef from poor to very poor. And the National Audubon Society releasing a grim assessment that global warming threatens 2/3 of birds in the United States with extinction. And climate change is threatening a way of life for an entire community of people we visited in Utqiagvik, Alaska.
The ice, it's not forming as what it used to, much thinner.
More dangerous?
More dangerous, yes.
The Arctic. But in the midst of all these records and reports and disasters, perhaps 2019 will be remembered as the year the climate movement reached critical mass for a planet that's on thin ice. Al Roker, NBC News.
Wow, a sombering report there from my colleague Al Roker. Coming up, those super popular DNA tests could pose a major security threat. The warning from the Pentagon this morning.
If people does not take the warnings of climate, atmospheric crisis conditions serious, we as a society upon to this planet are going to wreak devastation that goes beyond anything comprehensible that we can sit and think of in our imaginary minds. And it won't just be here in America, it'll be all over the planet. Simply because of a group of people who have been injected with the poisons of Satan that has allowed for these things to unveil themselves in such of a erratic way that now we are at the threshold of no return, of our own Achilles heel. Just like the Bible talks about of those who are destroying this planet. We must take action immediately if we plan on surviving out the rest of our normal lives in a normal way, much less for our children and our children's children to have to adapt to these type of irregularities. Please, please, for anybody that gets a hold of this message, take these signs and these warnings and these advisories serious. Please.